Sport is not a lifetime guarantee to you or to them. So if you're with someone that can't handle you being in rehab, they are not the right partner. You do not want to be with someone that thinks you are less than because you can't compete. You do not want to be with someone that can't handle you being injured.
Welcome to the Injured Athletes Club podcast, the show that helps athletes cope with sports injuries and bounce back stronger. I'm journalist Cindy Kuzma.
And I'm mental skills coach Carrie Jackson. We're sorry you're here, but we're glad you're with us.
This week, Coach Carrie is once again going to use her vast expertise in injury recovery and mental performance to answer a mental question from one of you, our listeners. But before we get to that, we wanted to share one other resource with you.
Yes, that resource is, did you know we have our very own merchandise store? If you head over to injuredathletesclub.com and look for the shop button, you can find all kinds of incredible stuff to buy yourself or, spoiler alert, maybe someone you're dating that also wants to support you in your journey, or maybe they're injured as well. There's all kinds of fun, like there's mugs over there, there's t-shirts, there's sweatshirts, there's all kinds of really fun, cool stuff to both sort of give yourself a gift and represent this time in your athletic journey, or maybe someone else wants to support you and show their support of you by getting some merchandise as well. So head over to injuredathletesclub.com/shop and check it out.
So now I know you all are super intrigued about this week's question. However, one quick last note before we get to that. This season of the Injured Athletes Club is brought to you by Lever Movement, creators of the Lever System. The Lever System is a portable, lightweight device that attaches to a treadmill to reduce your body weight. That means less impact on your joints so you can come back from injury safely or even prevent getting hurt in the first place. You can use it at home or take it to the gym and set it up in less than 2 minutes. Use code INJURED20 to get 20% off any device. Check out Lever today and take your training to the next level. And now it's time for this week's question. This comes from listener Evan, and Carrie, Evan wants to know, how do you date as an injured athlete when you identify strongly with specific sports and are drawn to others who also do those things, but you can't do them at this time? It becomes a source of anxiety and insecurity, like who would want to date a fellow runner who can no longer run, or someone who seems to perpetually be in physical therapy. Oh, Evan, our heart goes out to you. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. Carrie, I'd love to hear what you have to say.
I love this one so much. And I feel this so much. And so the way this came about, I put out a call on our Injured Athletes Club Facebook support group page, which if you're not a part of, I highly recommend you join. And so the question I posed to the club, to the group, was, what has been the most difficult mental or emotional challenge of your recovery that you would love some advice on? And I was so intrigued and excited when Evan responded, because this question's a little different than the questions we've been asked in the past, but it is something that has come up with my one-on-one coaching clients. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to answer it on the podcast. In fact, I was working with one of my athletes last night, and we were talking about dating and injury and how do you navigate that. So I loved this question. A big thank you to Evan as we address to date or not to date. That is the question. Right. So I say that in jest, but that is actually where I think it's really important to start. So like, all joking aside, that is something you want to ask yourself first and foremost. Meaning, and don't worry, Evan, I'll get to your actual question. But I think this is really important to address first. Just meaning, is this the right time to be dating? So your main priority right now is your recovery. Your priority needs to be taking care of yourself mentally and physically as your body works hard to heal. So the reason I mention this first is because a topic that often comes up with my one-on-one coaching clients is how much time is involved with recovery, from physical therapy to follow-up doctor's appointments to all of the other body work and treatment modalities you're doing that are scheduled. There's a lot of time being dedicated to recovery activities. So strictly from a bandwidth point of view, it can be challenging to then also be in a new relationship, which can also take up quite a bit of time. So both of those things, dating and recovery, have different needs that will be in competition with one another in terms of the resource of time and which one is going to get compromised. So athletes choose to date because it's a nice distraction. Dealing with the mental and emotional pain of being an injured athlete can suck. And so why not do something that feels exciting and fun? And so I'm not necessarily advocating for dating or not dating here. I think what's important is to just be really intentional, and go in with your eyes open and make that intentional decision of, is this the right time for me? So there's the bandwidth issue and am I just doing this as a distraction issue? But there is another important issue to assess as well. And so another thing that comes up for my injured athletes that are in a relationship with another athlete are feelings of envy or jealousy as they watch their partner get to go out and do the things they wish they could do. And then that often leads to feelings of shame and guilt because of the feeling envious or jealous of your partner. So it can get complicated emotionally. So, first, all of those feelings are 100% normal and understandable. It's very common to feel all of those things. And you are not a monster if you feel upset and even angry that your partner can participate in their sport when you can't. But when you're entering a new relationship, you want to be honest with yourself about whether those feelings are going to come up for you and whether this is the right time to be dating if they are coming up for you. You got to, just make sure you're taking off your rose-colored glasses of dating and putting on the clear ones before you jump in. So now that I've prefaced it, right, with all of that, so the questions to ask yourself are, 1, is it healthy for me to be dating right now? And 2, can I show up as the partner I want to be? So now, assuming you decide, yes, I can be an injured athlete and date at the same time, and I think it will be great. Then now your question remains, Evan, well, how do I do it, right? How do you do it? How do you deal with the anxiety and insecurity? And this is such a great question because if you're self-conscious about your injury status and wondering if someone is going to like you or think differently of you as a person, you're not going to show up as your best self. So the first thing you need to remind yourself is that you are more than an athlete. You're assuming that you are less than because you can't train or compete right now. How could someone possibly be attracted to me if I'm a big loser that can't do anything, right? So how could someone want to be anywhere near me if I'm limited in what I can do and I can't go out on any big athletic adventures because I have to go lick my wounds at rehab? So your physicality is not the only thing you have to offer a potential partner. And one reason you could still be a great partner to a fellow athlete and it's a great time to date is because you get it. You get the dedication, you get the drive and passion, and you know how to support that. That's a big deal because sometimes I'm helping athletes deal with the fact that their partner doesn't get it because they're not an athlete. You know how important it is to them because it's important to you. Additionally, I think it can be an interesting time to date because you're going to find out whether you're compatible outside of your sport, which is important because sport is not a lifetime guarantee to you or to them. So if you're with someone that can't handle you being in rehab, they are not the right partner. You do not want to be with someone that thinks you are less than because you can't compete. You do not want to be with someone that can't handle you being injured. So if you're going to date, just one thing to know is that they just may not be into you because they're just not into you. And it has zero to do with being on the injured list, right? So just, don't make that assumption because sometimes we'll go in with confirmation bias too and be like, oh my God, see, I'm totally unworthy because I'm injured. That's not the narrative we're writing here. So just remind yourself of those things, that you have so much to offer someone and that you are more than your injury. You are more than an athlete. And just to kind of check in with yourself and go, does it feel like, ask those 2 questions. Is this the right time for me, right? Is it healthy for me to be dating right now? When, can I date and also maintain my priority of taking care of myself mentally and physically? And can I show up as the partner that I want to be? So, Evan, I hope this helps. I kind of want you to come back and let us know your status.
Totally. Amazing. Coach Carrie, thank you so much for that. And I think there are lessons that even though, I know any kind of relationship issue comes up a lot in the group. And I think everyone can benefit from kind of thinking through those things and what kind of support they can give and offer each other across their athletic life. So thank you so much for sharing that. As always, Carrie, thank you so much, Evan, for sending in that question. Thanks also to Jeremy Nessel for editing the show as always, and to Lever Movement, our sponsor, for making it possible. And the last big heaping dose of gratitude to you, our listeners, for listening to the show. If you would like some support, maybe you'll meet someone cool too. I don't know. You can come join us in our Facebook support group, the Injured Athletes Club.
Dating app.
Totally. Even if it's not to seek a relationship in that way, there are so many amazing people there who are supporting each other all the time. They understand what it's like because they have been there before or they're there right now. And so definitely join us there. That's also called the Injured Athletes Club. And you can get links to that, to our merch, to our back episodes, everything else on our website, injuredathletesclub.com. Thanks so much, and we'll see you there.